Destiny is equal parts chance, free will, and necessity. This is blank, because it is for you to fill, mighty one.
Mighty Max is a 1993 animated series based off the toy line of the same name. Featuring the titular character Max, a kid who on his 13th birthday receives a mysterious package in the mail containing a magical baseball cap that sets him off on a series of fantastical adventures. But we're getting ahead of ourselves a bit. The story really begins one decade earlier in 1983 with Chris Wiggs creating a toy set out of a makeup compact for his little daughter. The beginnings of the toy line, Polly Pocket. Created for Bluebird Toys, licensed by Mattel, think of them as Barbie dolls, but scaled down to micro size, so that someone could take the houses and figures with them on family trips or to the park. This toy line proved successful. How successful? Well, it's still going strong with a toy line and a new animated series currently airing. So that's how successful. Mattel wanted to spin off this successful toy line into something a bit more action-oriented, to tackle the boy crowd, so Chris Wiggs came up with Mighty Max. Now, for kids in the 90s, everything was extreme and everything was on the go. Our portable CD players, our portable games, our portable fruit. And Mighty Max toys were a good example of all that stuff. Centered around the character of Max and his dealings with various monsters and aliens of all shapes and sizes, from giant spiders to lava monsters. The playsets coming in many sizes and many shapes, from the smaller pocket ones to the larger deluxe bases. According to the original storyline for the figures, Max was gifted an old baseball cap left by his father that, when turned backwards, zapped him into the Doom Zone, a series of worlds and adventures where he encountered horrifying creatures one after another in terrifying worlds as he tried to find his way back home, setting up the reason for all these strange and various playsets. Each toy came packaged with a comic strip which would explain the story of the playset that you were using, as well as provide a little bit more backstory to what's going on with Max and its continuing adventures. Now, these original figures just featured Max, as he would go from place to place, solve a problem, and zap to another place, sort of like Quantum Leap. There were no other figures and helpers or sidekicks in this, it was just Max and the monsters. Now, this story all changed when it was adapted to the animated series, the real reason that we're all here today. The 40-episode, 2-season cartoon series was developed by Mark Zaslov and Rob Hoodnett for the animation studio Film Roman, featuring an all-star voice cast with Rob Paulson as Max.
Yeah! Don't mess with me, buddy. I know the ancient deadly art of, voodoo. Yeah, and I can rip your eyes out and show them to you before you die.
Richard Mall as Norman.
This is gonna be fun.
Tony J as Virgil.
Every person has a gift, and in their gift lies their destiny.
And the deliciously menacing Tim Curry as Skullmaster.
I'll rip your limbs from your body and slowly suck the marrow from your bone.
Now in this new story, Max on his 13th birthday receives the cap, sent from a Lemurian scholar by the name of Virgil, as part of his destiny as the Mighty One. A hero bound by fate to save the world from the evil of Skullmaster and fight the forces of darkness across every corner of the globe. The series would see Max travel from continent to continent and even to the center of the world in outer space, utilizing his magical cap, which allowed him to, in the words of his mentor Virgil,
As such, you, the wearer of the cap, have access to the long-lost transport of the gods.
Hey, Hey, it's glowing.
A large majority of episodes were actually based on, or connected to, the playset, which made it rather easy for kids to play along with the adventures on their own. Very fitting with the usual Monster of the Week setup, but there was always the underlying story of defeating Skullmaster that weaved throughout both seasons. Now this show was dark, I mean really dark. Death was something that could happen at any moment, and tension was always high, even with all the jokes being tossed around by Max to lighten the mood. Max's family and friends did feature in a couple of the episodes, but the focus was never really on them. New information about the world was constantly being given to us, and you always felt that something new and exciting was right around the corner. The animation of the series was nice, crisp, and clean, with dynamic lighting, shadows, and animation that was very fluid and fun to watch. And the music, particularly the opening theme, is something which has stuck with me for a long time. It always gets you excited and ready for another action scene. The show had a small but dedicated fan base, and in addition to the toy line, there was also a video game based off of the series. The Adventures of Mighty Max for the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis video game systems. It was your typical side-scrolling action-adventure game based off of a television show, which usually means not very good. Unfortunately, unlike Polly Pocket, the Mighty Max toy line was not as popular and was discontinued in '96. Though the show was still finally remembered by a lot of people, and I hope that I've brought to your attention something that you can get invested in. The episodes are pretty readily available out there on YouTube, though unfortunately there's no real DVD release. It's a nice, complete series, it's a lot of fun, and I don't want to spoil the different things that happen in it. Well, for now, this is Kecker's Boy and Mighty Max. That was a thing.